You guys, welcome back to another video. This one is going to be a little bit different from my other ones. This has been a video I've wanted to make for a really long time, but it's kind of a hard one because it's kind of deep and heavy, and I just feel like I've been wanting to do this, and I've kind of touched on a little bit on what I'm going to say in this video, but I haven't, I guess, made a full video on it because I just haven't had the courage, and I've got like really bad anxiety about it now, not gonna lie. But that's what this video is about, anxiety and panic disorders. So I'm just gonna jump right in. So I guess this has been going on for like the greater portion of my life. I had a really good childhood, but I also feel like there were a lot of expectations placed upon me, and I was really rough on myself. And I have that personality. Like, I just want to do well. I want to please others. I want people to be proud of me. I don't want to disappoint anybody. So, I mean, that was pressure that I put on myself. And because of that, I feel like that led to me just wanting acceptance from everybody and like almost just craving it to the point of exhaustion. I couldn't understand like if somebody didn't like me or somebody didn't want to be around me, or I just didn't understand because I was trying so hard to please them and trying to do the best I could and just being a good person and being nice and just doing what they wanted. But by doing that and giving too much, I wasn't really getting anything back. So because of that, I felt up until, well, I still feel it at times, but I really do feel fulfilled in my life now, but it's taken a really long time to get there, and a lot of conversations and with myself, really. And so sorry, I don't know why I'm so nervous. I feel like, I wanted to start a YouTube channel for a really long time, and I never really knew kind of the direction that I wanted to go with it. And that's why my videos are kind of all over the place. But in retrospect, I really like to do a lot of different things. And so this channel really is a reflection of me, but this is just kind of diving a little deeper into who I am and why I am how I am, I guess. If you've picked up on anything from my videos, any awkwardness or any over explanation for certain things, it's just because I don't want to make anyone upset. So I guess I still am like that. But anyway, so this all, from my childhood kind of led into me being in my abusive relationship. And it was more just wanting to please this person that really didn't love me and said he did, and just, that's why I stayed for so long and kept going back, trying to make it work. Why isn't this working? I'm trying so hard. And I'm sorry for all of the reflections in my glasses. Lights. In my computer. So once I got out of that, I was really, really good for a really long time. And I've made a video about my abusive ex on this channel. And I feel like recently I've really begun to understand that I really need to make this like an everyday commitment in my life to heal and to not just like put everything on the back burner and swipe everything under the rug, because I feel like that's what I've been doing for a really, really long time. And I feel like in making these videos and watching myself on camera, I've realized that I can still see the sadness in my eyes. I can still see unresolved issues. I can still see this girl just wanting acceptance from everybody, and I don't want to be that person. And so we'll call this day one of my healing process, really healing and really getting to know myself and loving myself, because right now I don't really think that I do. And self-love is the most important, I think, thing in life. I mean, in order to love and appreciate anybody else, I feel like you have to love yourself first. And although I am capable of those emotions, I don't feel like in my relationships in life I've completely given myself to them, because I'm afraid of being hurt, or I'm afraid of just something happening. So I feel like I don't completely, even in my marriage, I love my husband. I love him with all my heart. I love him more than anything on this planet. But I feel like even after 4 years, I haven't fully given myself to him. And he knows that. And he is the most patient man on the planet. And he loves me enough to be on this journey with me and to be patient and kind and loving, and until I can figure it out. So, heavy, heavy, heavy. I just feel really heavy emotionally today. And as much as I don't use my past as a crutch for why I'm not doing things, but I do believe that it does influence my moods and my feelings at times. And today is just kind of went to the dark place a little bit. So, which by that I mean just sad and just trying to be really reflective, and I'm just thinking about things and coming down on myself about things that I shouldn't be. So that's why I'm jumping on here and talking about it, because this is an outlet for me. And this is, most days when I film my videos, it's a day that I'm off work and I need to occupy myself with things that I love to do, and I just want to share things with other people. So that's why I do this. And that's why I don't harp on the fact, subscribe, like, do this, do that, because honestly, this is my therapy. And if you do, and if there is something that you find helpful for you from this video and that helps you and that you find inspiring or awesome, I am so happy for that, because I wish that I had that a long time ago and just felt like I wasn't alone or whatever. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. So anyway, I've always had anxiety. I've always felt like, this impending doom and this something's going to happen. And sorry, I had to wrangle my dogs for a second. It's raining outside, so they're all in here with me. So if you hear like scratching around and movement, that's what that is. So anyway, so after I got out of my abusive relationship, I was kind of at my all-time high of anxiety, and my self-confidence was completely gone, completely depleted. I felt worthless. I felt exactly how he said I would feel. I felt like nobody would want me. I felt like I was going to be alone forever. Nobody would love me, blah, blah, blah. All the things that went through my head were completely untrue, but they were told to me so fast and furious for so long that that's all that resonated with me about that relationship and about myself at that time. So after that, I met this wonderful, wonderful man who is not my husband. My husband is wonderful, but I met this wonderful, wonderful man, and we were together for 6 years, and we had a fabulous relationship. He was kind, loving, showed me and told me that I was beautiful and gave me back all my confidence. And I will forever be indebted to that man. And we're still friends today. And he is now married with a beautiful baby girl. And I could not be happier for him, really. I mean, he deserves everything that life has to offer and more, really, truly. I know a lot of people can't say that about their ex-boyfriends, but really, truly, he does. He deserves the world. Not only for helping me, but for just what a genuine, caring, kind, patient just amazing person he is. So I was really on the up and up after that. And as far as our breakup, I'm not going to get into detail with that because it wasn't anything detrimental or tragic. It was just our lives were going in two completely different directions. He was 11, 12 years older than me. And it was just never, our lives were just never going to really meet up. We were really never going to be on the same page as in a romantic relationship. As friends, wonderful. Totally be friends. But as a, sorry, should have put that on silent. Oops. I don't edit, so it's just going to be in there. Let's take a laugh break. So heavy. Okay. So, after that relationship, I moved to Texas. He actually moved me to Texas, where I now live. And he helped me get all set up and comfortable and all that. And then he flew back to Wisconsin, where I'm originally from. And once again, most wonderful man on the planet, who breaks up with her ex and is like, oh, well, I'll help move you to another state across the country. Okay. Wonderful man. So, fast forward, I've been here about 6 years. I met my husband. He travels for work. I've already said that. I'm not going to get too much into that. That'll be for a later date if you want to know about it. So we ended up, and as you all know, we travel for my husband's work. We live in our RV. I've tried to make it a little pretty back here. I mean, with the space that I have, I'm literally in my kitchen right now at my table. So I got my flowers that have been here for about a week. They've lasted so long. Got my little succulent plant, which that I was in my Marshall's video. And then I have my little dog mom mug over here. And then I have some paintings back there. And I just thought they were so beautiful. They're Hispanic women. And I just love the flowers and the colors and the jewelry, and the women are so beautiful. And I think women should be celebrated every day, every shape, size, race, religion. So I just thought they were so beautiful. So I had to get them. Anyway, so my husband and I live in our RV. We travel around, blah, blah, blah. All right. So we moved to an RV park in Baytown, Texas. We're now living here, not at the same one, but we actually had to move. We moved to Baytown the first time, lived in an RV park there. Then we moved to West Texas for his job for about a year, and now we're back in Baytown, which I'm so happy about because I love Baytown. It's near Houston. It's like kind of on the outskirts. So, and it's raining, and I'm sure you can hear that, and I'm sorry. So, anyway, so when we initially moved to Baytown, we were in this RV park. A bunch of his coworkers lived there too. Some of them with their wives and girlfriends. Some of them, their wives and girlfriends were living somewhere else. That's kind of the norm, living this life. So we had a friend of ours who shall remain nameless. I will not out him. I'm not about that. And I already made a video about this story, but I decided to make it private because I did not like how it came out. I had been drinking, which I am now not. And I'll get into that. And I felt like the stress of it was just like I was drinking and drinking and drinking, and like I couldn't talk about it right. It's very traumatic for me, and I'm like shaking right now. And I felt that I could not do that video unless I was like a little tipsy, which I'm going to prove to myself right now that I can do that video, and I'm over that, and I'm not using that as a crutch, and I'm not doing this anymore. This is not I'm not going to be afraid of this. I'm not going to be afraid to tell my story because I have many of them and I'm a very multifaceted person and I'm better than sitting on camera, drinking wine and telling painful stories that I can't even get through because I'm drinking too much. Okay. So that being said, a friend of ours who worked with my husband lived in the same RV park, and it wasn't unusual for us to hang out. Like I saw him as like a brother, really, same age as my husband. Um, he would come hang out with us at our RV. We would cook out. We knew his wife. We knew his kids. We would cook out with them. We would do stuff on the weekends. Not strange at all. Like they were our family, really. We're like our second family. And so when my husband got the call, because that's kind of how this job works. So my husband is an iron worker, but he is now an iron worker foreman. But what happens with these jobs is they last at best a few years, but usually, after a year, the job starts to wind down. They build plants. So the job starts to wind down and they're looking for I'm sorry, look how shaky my hands are. The story gets to me. So anyway, when a job is winding down and they start looking for other jobs, when they get a call, they have to just go. Because if they don't go, that's a lost opportunity and the job will literally be given to somebody else. I mean, these companies, plants and oil companies, they do not care. They need a warm body. They need a warm body that can do some work. And I'm not coming down on people with trades and craft. Like my husband, he's an iron worker. Like not everybody can do that. But a lot of these places will just take, and there are people that are really good at their craft and go in and do a fabulous job, but there are also people that don't know what the hell they're doing and just lie on their application just to get in, and they'll take them. So when people with these crafts have these opportunities, like they have to take them. They have to just go. So that's what happened with my husband. So he got the call from West Texas that he had to go. Well, I'm here at the other RV park, but in Baytown with a job, with our animals. I had a lot of loose ends to tie up. So I had to stay. So my husband ended up the following week, like literally, I think this was a Friday that he got the call, and he was gone on his way to West Texas, 8 hours away on a Monday. And so that was that. We dealt with it. It was what it was. That's it. So before he left, so this friend of ours, before my husband left, he said, hey, he said, please, check in on her, make sure everything's cool. Like if she needs anything, please help her. He said, I can't be here. Anything she needs, please just make sure she's okay. And he's like, yeah, no problem, man. That's completely fine. And, I thanked him and I was like, thank you so much. Like, it's kind of scary all of a sudden. And like, I didn't have any family or really any friends around there. So I was, it was scary all of a sudden. I was just kind of alone. So I was just really appreciative that I had somebody to call in case, something happened. Turns out that was the person that put me in probably the worst, most scariest situation in my entire life. So I was busy a lot with work and just household stuff and errands and just life things, and honestly, when I was doing stuff with my dogs, and I kind of tried not to be at the RV very much because, I was missing my husband. Like I don't care what anybody says, like that's our home. Like he wasn't there and I was missing him. And I remember I would try to not be home around the time that he was supposed to get home from work because I would get really upset because it's like, oh, it's 6 o'clock. He's about to be, oh, wait, he's not here. Just that kind of stuff. So I tried to be gone, occupying my time elsewhere, whether it be taking the dogs to the dog park, exercising, whatever. So I wasn't there very often, but about every Friday, every other Friday, this friend of ours would knock on the door. He'd be like, hey, you want to hang out? Do you want to, grill out, have a beer, whatever like that? And, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Somebody to hang out with, a friend of mine, nothing weird. Please do not think what you're probably thinking. This was completely nothing in my mind. I was like, oh, this is my buddy. And I've got a lot of guy friends. Like, that to me is not strange. So, we'd hang out outside, have a beer or two, eat some food. Some of his other coworkers would sometimes come over. My husband's old coworkers, I should say, would come over, hang out. Not weird. Yeah, they're all freaking guys because they all work in the field. Not that women don't work there, but all of the people on his crew were men. So whatever. A lot of them older, a lot of them like father figures to me. I mean, shit. 2 of them live next to us now. We're like the best of friends. We know their wives, their kids, everything. It's really fun. Constant, like, just fun. We're all texting, making sure, checking in. Like, it's a family. It's amazing. Sorry, I need to get my glasses adjusted. I'm well aware that they're crooked. So, okay. So as time went on, I had noticed when he would come to the door or text me to come hang out or whatever, that he was just like really fucked up. Like really, really fucked up. Like I don't think, I can't say because I don't know. I don't think drugs were involved, but how he began to act, I'm not really sure. But there was definitely heavy drinking involved on his part, and he was like, he was one of those people who just could not handle his alcohol. So fucked up all the time. All the time. And I began to distance myself because I was like, I don't want to be around that. Somebody, I mean, it was uncomfortable. I was like, I do not want to be around somebody like that. So anyway, I ended up I stopped answering the door and answering my phone. I just kind of was like, I don't want to be a part of that. And I talked to my husband about it. I was like, he's getting kind of, drunk all the time. I'm like, God, his wife can't be, very pleased about that. So anyway, sorry, I was just looking at my dogs. So, what am I doing? So weird. So one night I was on the phone with my husband, and we had a long distance relationship for like 3 months until he had some time off during the Thanksgiving holiday to come and help me move us to him. So what was it? October, November, December. Wait, no. Okay, so he came to visit in November, but December is when we moved back during Christmas time because he had 10 days off. 4 days or 10 days off over Christmas, I can't remember. But it was enough time to come here and move me to him. So, sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. I'm like so all over the place right now. I apologize. See, this is anxiety just kind of does this. Like your mind moves too fast and you just forget. Like my short memory sometimes is shit because my brain is moving too fast. Okay, long distance relationship for about 3 months. So my husband and I would talk on the phone every day. We would spend a lot of time together on the phone. That was our thing. We were on the phone for hours. So Okay, so one evening I was on the phone with my husband, and this person kept, the friend of ours, kept calling me, calling and calling and calling. And I told my husband, I said, so and so will not stop freaking calling me. Like, he would not freaking stop. Blowing my phone up, calls, text. What are you doing? Where are you doing? Want to have a beer? Want to have a beer? Want to have a beer? I said, babe, I said, this is really weird. I said, I am really uncomfortable. I said, I don't really know what to do. So in the meantime, my mom had called me on the phone. My mom and I talk every day. So my mom had called me, and she um, was like, hey, what's up? And I said, hey, mom, I said, can I give you a call back in a little bit? I said, I'm on the phone with Matt. Matt's my husband. I said, I'm on the phone with Matt right now. Um, and she's like, oh, okay. She's like, he probably has to go to bed soon. So, talk to him and then just call me back later. Okay, cool. So click back over to my husband. And then there's a freaking knock on the door. Bang, bang, Nisa, Nisa. And I'm just like, okay. And so I got really scared then because I was like, what the hell? And my husband's like, babe, it's okay. Just go out there. It's fine. He's like, just go out there on the phone with me, and it's fine. He's like, you'll see. Okay, fine. So I go out there, and our friend was out there, and I was like, hey, what's up? I was like, hey, Matt's on the phone. He says hi. And he's like, oh yeah, tell him I say hi. What's up? They got on the phone for a minute. And then I was like immediately comfortable because I was like, okay. It's like, all right, maybe he's not as fucked up as I thought he was. It's cool. So anyway, I got off the phone with my husband. I was like, I love you. Okay, I'll call, I'll talk to you later. Whatever. Because my husband's like, just go hang out with him. He's like, Nisa, you need some interaction with other humans. He's like, you can't just be in the RV all the time. He's like, you need to just hang out. He's like, I'm however many miles away. Like, go have a drink, relax. It's like, okay, all right, cool. So we're sitting outside on my porch, and I had grabbed a beer, which was my first one. I mean, I hadn't been drinking at all, so it was my first beer. And he is just like totally effed up. I begin to notice as he sat down and kind of settled in, it's like it all hit him all at once. And I was like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. And he reaches over and puts his hand on my leg. And he was just about to go home for the weekend to see his wife and kids because they lived in a different state. And so either they would come to visit him or he would go to visit them. So he was about to go see them for the weekend. So he has his hand on my leg. He's like, I'm really going to miss you this weekend. I'm going home to see my family. I'm really just going to miss you. He just kept saying that. And I'm just like, okay. I was like, all right, well, I got to go. And, because I'm just that person. Like, I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable, but I was uncomfortable and I wanted to get out of the situation. So I wasn't going to go off on him. I wasn't going to be rude. That's just who I am. Like, I don't want somebody, as bad as it is and as bad as somebody's actions might be, I still don't want them to have to cringe. That's just how I am. So I was like, okay. I was like, in my head, I was like, I gotta get out of this. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get away. So I ended up, I don't remember what excuse I used. I think I said I had cooked dinner or something. So I was like, I really gotta go. I have a bunch of stuff to do. I've really gotta go. Okay, well, can I have a hug? I'm really gonna miss you. I'm just like, why the fuck does he keep saying that to me? So anyway, I gave him a hug. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, bye. Have a good night. So he walked away. I went back in. No big deal. So I started cooking dinner, and I called my mom back. Because before, remember, I was on the phone with my husband. I said I'd call her back, whatever. So I'm on the phone with my mom. So about 15 minutes after he left, again, I'm cooking dinner on the stove on the phone with my mother. So I was on the phone with my mom cooking my dinner, and I hear this banging and screaming, banging on my door, my RV door, which if you've ever been in an RV or live in an RV, anything, you know that they're like really heavy metal doors just banging. So it sounded really, really loud. So I got really freaked out, and my mom heard it on the phone. And she said, "What is that?" And I said, "Mom," I said, "I think it's so and so." And she's like, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "Well, what does he want?" And I said, "I have no idea." I said, and she, everybody like, it's not a big thing. And I was like, "Well, we were outside hanging out earlier." And I said, "I came in to cook dinner, so I have no idea." And I was like, but he was like screaming my name, screaming. And I was like, "What the hell?" And then I kind of caught a little bit of what he said. He was like, "My cell phone, you have my cell phone." And I was like, "What the hell?" My mom's like, she's like, "Do you have his cell phone?" And I was like, "No." I was like, I don't have a cell phone. But looking back, I believe that was an excuse for him to get in. So my mom, thank God I was on the phone with my mom. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I was on the phone with my mom, because had I not been, I have to say, I may have gone to the door to be like, "I don't have your phone," like an idiot, not knowing, what mental state he was in. Oh my gosh. Ugh. So I did not go to the door, and he just kept on, kept on, kept on. And my mom's like, "You need to go." She's like, "Where are you right now?" And I said, "Well, I'm down in the kitchen." And she's like, "Well, you need to go upstairs." She's like, "Can you lock yourself? Can you lock yourself in somewhere?" Of course not. I mean, the newer ones might, but our RV's older model, and we do not have locks on any of our doors. We've got the front door. We have a sliding door that separates the downstairs from the upstairs part. And then we have a sliding door that closes the bathroom. And that's it. None of them, they're pocket doors. None of them have locks. So she's like, just go upstairs. She's like, "Just go upstairs, just so that, there's no way that he's going to be able to like see you through the blinds or anything like that." She's like, "Just go upstairs." So I was like, "Okay." So I go upstairs, I went into the bathroom, and I shut the sliding door to the bathroom. And at this point, I'm really freaking out. Oh, I shut the pocket door to the downstairs too. Not that it was going to do anything, but at least, I guess I did feel a little more secure, because I wasn't like out in the open kitchen like where I am right now. So went up there, shut both the pocket doors, and I was in the bathroom. So I was on the phone with my mom. And I was like, "Mom, I don't know what to do." I was like, "I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what's happening." And I said, she's like, "Well," she's like, "Do you think you should call 911?" And I said, "Mom," I said, "I really don't know." I said, I'm not sure really what's happening right now." She said, "Okay." Okay. So all of a sudden we hear a crash, huge crash. And in front of, so I've got my door, and then next to it is a big window. So in front of that window, I had some, because that window I don't really care about that window. Like, I like this window open, whatever. So I had some storage, plastic storage dressers stacked up against the window. So I peeked out of so I opened the sliding bathroom door. I peeked out of the other sliding door that leads downstairs here. Sorry, I'm kind of getting a little freaked out. So, I look out, and my storage dressers were on the ground, and I was trying to see, but it was dark. It was nighttime. I was trying to see, and I couldn't really tell, but I saw glass all over the floor. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, Mom, I was like, he broke the window. She's like, call 911, call 911. And I was like, okay. So I get off the phone with her. I dial 911. I'm on the phone. I'm telling 911 what happened. And as I'm on the phone with 911, and I swear, if that dispatcher was the sweetest, most kind woman I have ever experienced, I mean, not ever experienced, but in that situation, oh my freaking Lord, she was my angel on earth at that point. So while I was on the phone with her, sorry. While I was on the phone with her, she was asking me, like, because I told her what was going on. She was like, where are you? Do you have any weapons? Do you have anything that you can defend yourself with? And I said, the only thing I have are kitchen knives. And I said, and they're downstairs because I was upstairs. And she said, okay. I said, oh my God. And she said, what? I said, he's reaching his hand into the window. So I'm on the phone with her and I see his hand reach into the window and he's trying to unlock the door to my RV, which if you know RVs, it's just a little flip. It's just a little flip lock. So then I'm really scared. So I shut the door, I go back into the bathroom, and I'm just like pleading and begging. I said, please hurry, please hurry. And at this point, it had only been a few minutes, but I felt like I was on the phone with her for an eternity. And so I was like, please help me, please help me. I said, please help me, please help me. So I was just freaking out. And she said, it's okay. She said, just take deep breaths. It's all right. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. And, I heard, there was noise and she was talking to me and whatever. Then it was like everything just went silent. And I still have chills. I'm getting chills right now. Everything just stopped. And I was kind of looking around and she's like, ma'am, are you okay? And I said, yeah. I said, I'm fine. And she's like, the sheriff's there. She's like, do you see the sheriff? And I said, no, I'm still in the bathroom. And all of a sudden, I hear, ma'am, are you okay? Sheriff's office, sheriff's office. And I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. So my ass whips the door open, goes flying down the stairs, out in there, and he was the sweetest man. He's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I said, I think so. I said, I think I'm fine. I said, I just think I need a minute. And I said, and I need to call my mom back. So I thanked the 911 dispatcher and hung up the phone and everything. And I called my mom back and she's like freaking out. She's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I said, yeah. I said, Mom, I'm fine. I said, the sheriff's here. And she said, I've been trying to call you. And I was like, well, I didn't know. I said, I was on the phone with 911. So I didn't know you were trying to call me because I didn't know this because it's not like I call 911 on the daily, but you can't, you don't get your like call waiting, whenever you're on an emergency phone call. So I didn't even know she was trying to call me. So, she later on when we spoke about it, she's like, you will never know the feeling of thinking that your child is dead for an entire 5 minutes. And she's like, I can't even explain that. I mean, I don't have children, so I can't even imagine that feeling. But I mean, as a mother, I don't know what would be going through my head, knowing that somebody just broke a window in my daughter's home and I was 2,000 miles away and there was nothing that I could do to help. I don't even know. I don't even know what that feeling, I don't even know what that would feel like. But I got a little snippet of it from my mom's voice and she was horrified. So anyway, I had to get off the phone with her to talk to the sheriff. And so, we were sitting at the table outside, and I just gave him a play-by-play of everything that happened. And there were a couple other police officers that were looking around for him because he was like nowhere to be found. And so anyway, they took my statement. I had to write an affidavit of like everything that happened. And the RV park, bless them as well, those people, Lost River RV Park. And actually on their sign to the RV park, it says, Jesus is Lord. And I feel wholeheartedly that I was protected by the good Lord above, by Jesus, by angels, by everything, because I don't know, it was so weird. It was like the weirdest thing that I think I've ever experienced. Like everything just went silent, and it was just over. It was just over, and I was fine. And so, the people that actually own the RV park, live on the property, and the police officers went to go get them. And the other thing that I was thinking too, and everybody else was also like, the RVs around us, like everybody, it was Friday, so like everybody like got out of work and went out of town, but like nobody heard anything that was happening. Or they did, and they just didn't do anything. Like nobody helped. Nobody was doing anything. And I don't blame anybody for that, but that's what like we were all talking about later on. It's like, how the hell did, like, there was still people here. Like, how did nobody, I don't know. I still to this day don't understand. But anyway, the police officers went to go get the owners. The owners came over. They literally like boarded up my windows. We found out, okay, so when I went to the outside, because obviously the first time I was outside of the RV since this had happened was when the sheriff showed up. So the sheriff, after, he talked to me and everything like that, he was kind of checking out the, crime scene, so to speak, because I mean, it was felony, they called it felony breaking and entering. I mean, he technically didn't enter, but he tried to get in. So I don't know the exact charge. I don't know what he exactly got charged with. The sheriff told me at the time, but obviously I don't remember half the shit that went on because I was just all over the place. My adrenaline was pumping. I was like out of my mind, like anxiety, worry, fear, whatever. So he was checking out the outside of the RV, and there was blood all over the outside of my window where he had punched the window open, I'm assuming, because I mean, I don't know how else he would have done it. And then there was jagged glass all along the bottom of the window. So I'm assuming when he reached in to try to unlock, then like blood got all over the place. And then the whole frame of my RV door, which is metal, was like pried. So I didn't know that was all going on. So the police think that he had been, and we found a sleever bar outside. So the police think that he had been trying to actually pry my door open before he bashed the window. Oh, which, thinking about that, that's what they said. He didn't punch the window. They think that he hit it with the sleeper bar, because that would make more sense, right? I don't know. Sorry, my mind's like all over the place right now. I feel like I'm back in that situation. Can't think straight. So they think that he was trying to first pry the door open, and then that wasn't working, which, thank God, my old ass RV is pretty strong. Strong girl. Good girl. So anyway, and then busted the window, but there was like blood all over the window, all over the door. Like it was ridiculous. So the owner offered, he's like, you can come and stay in our guest bedroom for the night if you want. Like, it's totally fine, but me being me, I was like, no, I was like, I need to be with my dogs. Like, I need to be in my space. And you would think at this point that somebody would be like, hell yes, get me out of here. I just was not in that mindset. I was like, I need to stay here. I need to protect my belongings. My door won't shut. I'll just stay here. So I stayed in And by the time all of this is said and done and they left, it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, they were here for hours. And trying to find him and trying to, take pictures of everything. And the neighbor or the owner and one of the neighbors came over and they boarded my window up for me for the night just because they knew I was going to stay because I was being stubborn. And so I'm so shaky. So, and I apologize for all the ugly crying. I'm not a cute crier. I can't cry cute. Sorry. When I get upset, it's just like not. I need a bigger joke right now. Okay? I don't care. Because it's true. So, anyway, I stayed up all night long. I didn't go to bed. I stayed up till the sun came up. And at about 6 o'clock in the morning, I want to say, the property manager came over, who I was actually really good friends with. Still am. Still in contact with her. Came over and was like, and I was like a hot mess. Like, I had been crying. I hadn't washed my face. I had like freaking mascara running down, like all under my eyes. My eyes were like bloodshot red from crying. Like, I was a freaking hot mess. And she just took one look at me and just gave me a hug. She's just like, come here, sweetie. It's okay. Gives me a hug. Her husband and the owner came over and put like 2 pieces of wood together and hammered the metal on my door shut and put another piece of wood to reinforce like on the inside of the frame, and my door finally would shut and lock. And so then I felt comfortable going to sleep. So I slept for a few hours. I had been trying to call my husband, but I couldn't get a hold of him because he was at work. Well, first he was sleeping, then he was at work. So my husband literally did not know what had gone on until the next day at like, because he had tried to call me when I was asleep, when he had woken up, but I was like dead to the world because, all the stress and everything that happened. Like, I was just dead asleep. And so my husband didn't even know what happened until later that afternoon. And he's just like, holy shit. So anyway, they couldn't find him. And he ended up, there were cameras. So they actually saw him get home before he even came and knocked on my door the first time to come out and have a beer. They saw him come home, park across my RV, and just sit there. Like, he was watching to see if I was home and what I was doing. And then they saw his truck pull over by his RV, which literally from my side window here at the time, I could see his RV like across the way. They saw him pull over to where his RV was. Then they saw him walk over initially, knock on the door, go outside, have a beer. They saw him go back over to his RV. And they saw the light from his phone, the cell phone that he supposedly lost. They saw him set it down. And then they could still see the light. These are really good cameras, by the way. They could still see the light from his phone. And then they saw him go back to me again, which is when the whole thing took place. Then they saw him again come back. And then when all of the commotion was all over, they tried to knock on his RV door. They tried to do all that, whatever. And sorry, my chest is like pounding out of my chest. My chest is pounding out of my chest. Yeah, okay. My heart is pounding out of my chest. So, they ended up leaving, which I'm still kind of confused about. But at the next day, the property manager was looking at the cameras and everything and saw that he returned from somewhere. We feel like he had friends around here somewhere, or somebody came and picked him up and took him somewhere. They can't figure it out because obviously there's not cameras in like every nook and cranny. All they could see was the like leaving and arriving type deal. So when all was said and done, and when like everybody had been gone, when all the cops left and everything like that, and I still don't know how I missed this. I think I was just like in my own little like cocoon bubble, even though I was up all night. He actually ended up returning and getting in his truck and leaving, and I missed that whole thing. So, which I'm actually glad I did, because I probably would have freaked out had I, seen him like return or whatever. But I think I was actually like that night, I'm pretty sure I was like watching YouTube videos and just trying to get my mind off stuff, and TV and whatever, anything that would get my mind off of it. So I think that I honestly just wasn't paying attention. But so one of the guys that he had been out with before all of this went on, was like, he didn't do that. He wouldn't do something like that. So the guy ended up calling him, and then, because my husband was trying to get to the end of the end of this. I am so all over the place. My husband was trying to get to the bottom of this. He's like, what the fuck happened? Like, who was with him? What happened? Where was he? What is happening? How did this happen? He like had a lot of questions, obviously, and so did I, because I still was like, all I knew was the showing up to the RV, the outside, and what happened inside, and then at the aftermath. Like, that's all I know. I didn't know the comings and goings before that, or after that, for that matter, whenever he came back. So, the one guy that he was out, he's like, I talked to him. He's like, he did do it. And it's, he's like, it's a weekend, and he's now got a warrant out, and he's going to turn himself in. He just wants to go home. And like, at this point, I guess he had completely sobered up, and he's like, I totally fucked up. I did, blah, blah, blah. He completely admitted to it to the coworker. I never spoke. He tried calling me. He had the audacity to try to call me that day. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, why would you even think that was appropriate, acceptable? And why did you think that I would answer? But okay, whatever. I didn't know where his head was at or what he was even thinking. I'm just like, I couldn't even fathom, like, if I put myself in his situation, couldn't even fathom doing that to somebody and then thinking that they're going to freaking talk to me. Whatever. So, they ended up putting a lock on his RV, because he didn't take his RV with him. They ended up putting a lock on his RV, so he couldn't leave unless they spoke with him. So he ended up showing back up, fully ready to turn himself in. And I hear through the grapevine that he went through about a year's worth of stuff. He did pay us money for the damage. I think like $1,400 or $1,500. Which is fine, but the emotional damage and I would go so far as to call it PTSD that I endure because of this, no amount of money can fix that. So this event ended up throwing me into extreme, and I've always had a little anxiety. Well, a little, but I've had bouts of severe anxiety, but that had gone away for a while. I was still anxious about stuff, but not as bad. Well, this threw me into complete 100% full-on anxiety, panic attacks, to the point where I actually held it together until my husband was able to come home for Thanksgiving. And that's actually when I had my first panic attack. I was cooking Thanksgiving dinner in our kitchen, and I had a full-on panic attack on the floor. Thought I was having a heart attack. That's a whole nother story if you want me to tell that. So yeah, so I guess my other thing in this video, and I know it's going to be super long, and I apologize, it's just I don't know how else to detail this all out without being really detailed. So, I guess the other thing that I wanted to touch on is I think, like, after this happened, I really kind of started drinking a lot, alcohol, to try to, and I hate to say this because it's not healthy and it shouldn't be used for this. But at the time in my mind, I was like, I started drinking a lot because it was the only thing that calmed me down. It was the only thing that made my anxiety stop. And um, up until, and I'm just being fully candid and honest about this. And I realized after, a period of time, and this happened about 2 years ago, but I realized after a period of time, I was like, okay, this isn't healthy. Like, I need to like dial it back, and like, it's okay to like drink in moderation, but it's not okay to drink how I was drinking. And, um, I wasn't getting like blackout drunk or anything like that, but I was drinking every day, and I was drinking too much. And I mean, that's an alcoholic. It is. Let's call a spade a spade. And I'm not ashamed to say that because I know that that's what was happening. And um, even in starting my YouTube channel, you see, I've had a glass of wine. I've, I'll have bad anxiety days where I do drink still. But now I have decided that I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink because I feel like in order for me to heal completely from the events of the past and to get to know myself better and love myself more, I do not need a substance clouding my vision. And by vision, I mean where I see myself in my head, where I want to be, and I have a very good life. I have a good career. I have powered through this stuff. I have. But it still comes with daily struggles. It still comes with battling so many demons. And I want to face those head on in a more productive and healthy way. And I hope that through making more videos, I can help others with that as well as myself. So I'm hoping that you guys and myself can go on this journey together and share stories and share ways to, cope with this and strategies to kind of move on and not feel like you're in a prison of emotions some days. I don't feel like that every day, but I would say I feel like that more than I don't. So, and I'm going to end this video here because I feel like nobody's going to watch till the end. I hope you do. But I just saw this quote, and it's really weird because I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw this quote before I hopped on here to do this video, and it was kind of perfect. And so it says, "The girl who seemed unbreakable broke. She dropped the fake smile and whispered, 'Jesus, I can't do this anymore.' And he replied, 'Daughter, I've never wanted you to. I've been waiting for you to let me carry you.'" So I just thought that that was really powerful. And, at this point, I really do feel like I need to just let go and let God, and I need to get in touch. I've always been a very spiritual, and I love God and I believe in God, but I feel like somewhere along the way I may have lost, gotten off the path. So I really want to get back in touch with, my spirituality even more and just understand these things and understand that it's okay. And, God's got me. Like, it's all right. Like, what's my journey and God's plan for me is what it is. It's already mapped out. So I just have to let it happen and believe in myself and believe in those that are trying to help me. So, sorry for the heavy. So anyway, I hope you all are having a blessed day. Please remember to make good choices. Be kind. Be so kind to each other. Always and always. We need more kind people in this world. We really do. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will start, I think, uploading some shorter videos. But I think I want to start doing like a kind of everyday diary type deal. I like showing what I do. So even though my footage might suck. So I'll try to get better at that too. It's all a learning process, right? All right, y'all. I hope you have a blessed day. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.